Hey, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, folks. It's V the Grill Economist coming to you on an early broadcast this Monday with the man of the hour who needs no introduction. We are talking about John J. Singleton himself. And folks, you can find him over at aceofcoins.com, as well as aceofcoins.club, where you join the most elite organization of group of people that are not only sharing ideas, but they're educating and empowering each other to figure out not only how to make profits, but to find the very life hacks that make your life more profitable, more equitable, and more luxurious, and lots of winning. And John's back. I mean, let's be honest here. I mean, before this show, before we went live, John was just talking about there's a river of prosperity heading your way, folks. You need to learn to take advantage of it. And we have the business maven himself, John J. Singleton. John, good morning, buddy. How are you?
Morning. Very good, thanks. Always glad to
Well,
talk to you. Yeah.
John, I mean, so many things are happening. The Trump effect is in full effect. We've seen, I mean, paradigm altering global changes that are occurring that people didn't even think were possible is occurring. The American economy is being uncorked and untapped, which also leads to opportunities for people around the world to take advantage of what is going to happen, especially in this country. So, with that being said, John, where do you want to begin, brother?
Okay, I really like the idea of, remember last year, 2 years ago, y'all were so concerned about adding more IRS employees, so many new
Yes,
IRS employees, and
yes,
and you and I were talking about this, and I was saying, well, look, the rules didn't change. It's just more workers, They're still going
yeah.
to do the same thing. But, I think it's so important that you take the 90,000 or 88,000 that are about to be added to the payroll at the IRS and just recommission them over to the border.
Yeah, absolutely.
I
And
mean,
that's what he's
yeah,
doing. And John,
yeah.
Trump's floating the idea right now to completely eliminate the IRS.
Well, we still
Completely
need,
give it.
we still need the function. So that's fine. They're
Well,
going to redo the whole thing, better
no,
software.
he's
Yeah,
creating
right.
the ERS. Did you hear
Yeah,
about
I
this?
like that. That's how it should be. You should be
And
taxing
that's
other
how it
countries.
was.
Why are you taxing us for everything? Tax them.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's how it was, man. People don't remember. Look, income tax has only been a thing for like 139 years. And the
Oh,
greatest
yeah.
economic boom in human history was between 1877 and 1912. That was the greatest economic boom in human history, and we could be going back to that, man. I mean, this is what people need. And hell, if Trump comes out and say, look, let's just repurpose the IRS. Let's just maybe do a flat tax. Remember with Steve Forbes back in like 19 in the late 80s, he
Sure.
put that out there, a flat tax. Imagine a
Right.
flat tax. You just pay 10%, that's it. you
Well,
know
Canada did this. Canada did
Mhm.
this. They replaced the income tax, which was basically the same as here, and brought in the flat tax. And then shortly thereafter, they brought back in the regular tax that it was they already had and kept the
Mhm.
flat tax. Y'all can
Such
check and see if I'm
assholes.
right on that one. So be careful on that. But
Yeah.
don't be lazy, okay? Don't look at the news and go, "Oh, someone's saving me." Don't be you're being lazy. Look, people have become rich, have become millionaires in short periods of time with or without the tax system. So don't use it as an excuse not to do anything. Y'all should be out there looking for that opportunity. And we can talk about these things. We can talk about, well, what does that look like, John? Do I have to go buy a grocery store chain? You know, things of that
Yeah,
nature. No,
exactly.
you don't. You don't. If you have a keyboard, mostly today, you just need a keyboard and a little bit of creativity. Notice how I stopped talking there. People are going, "What? It's not that easy." And money makes things better. It's not the solution to many things, but having more money in your life, more cash flow is going to allow you to make different types of decisions. It's going to allow you to do things that you couldn't have done before. VJ, you there?
Hey, sorry about that. I was like muted.
Huh.
I
Oh,
didn't
okay.
realize.
Did you want to add something? Because I was going to get into some.
Yeah.
All right.
No, no, no. I mean, no, you're on the money, man. People need to
Yeah.
really start looking at angles. Don't sit there. I think the biggest message here that we always like to put forward, especially you always say, is have a proactive mind, right? Always have a proactive mind that's constantly, you got to be like a shark, constantly looking for opportunities, constantly looking to feed. And
And
that's the
don't
way
talk
people need to see
yourself
it.
out of things. Don't talk yourself out. Like you
Yeah,
hear
yeah,
you
get
hear
on the
real
right
estate
side.
agents. I'm going to use this as an example. I'm not saying this is the thing you should do, but real estate agents have this teaching, this learning that they understand there's only so much real estate So you think, well, then it's limited, right? There's only so much real estate. So it's finite. Well, what about what do we care about? Selling the real estate or buying the real estate. How many times can I do that? Infinitely. So while we have a finite amount of real estate, we have an infinite amount of transactions that could be done on the real estate. And why haven't you done one? Oh, because I'm not a real estate agent. Well, did you know that you don't have to be a real estate agent to actually make a whole lot of money in real estate? I mean, look at our president. That's one example. He's not even a real estate agent. Okay.
Right.
All right. So, okay, and I'll give you this idea, and I know we've discussed this before, but I'm going to say it again. And what I'm going to tell you, I'm going to add to this, and I'm going to say, don't be lazy and don't be afraid of the consequences that you have no idea what they would be. Anyways, don't be coming up with speculative theories on what you think is going to happen to this bad thing, that bad thing if I do this thing, right? Get out of your comfort zone and go do a thing. And I'm going to give you an example. So I would go, if I were you, don't even ask me for this, go to some lawyer that's a real estate attorney, someone who practices in that area, okay? Tell them you want a contract that allows you to buy a piece of real estate. Take your pick. It's going to be multifamily, single family, it's going to be commercial, whatever floats your boat. Have the attorney write you a contract that allows you to purchase it on terms such as like an option to buy it at a later date. The reason why you want to do that is because you have this contract that would then control the title, allow you to control the title for a period of time that would allow you to raise the money to buy the property. This is where you're getting the money from, is this contract. So if you go pay a lawyer, let's say $500 or even $1,000 for this contract, okay? And let's say he writes this contract and then you take it to another, let's say you take it to a real estate investor that's already doing pretty well, right? And you have them look at the contract and make suggestions, right? Go back to that attorney or another attorney and have them revise it and just make it better. And then have this piece of paper, have this contract available at the ready. Have $1,000, have $10,000 if you can. Put that aside that you don't touch it, okay? And every once in a while, you're driving around town, go stop in a place, write down a phone number, call a property manager, go look at something, go look at who owns a strip mall in your town that you've been driving by every day. And on the chance that you might be able to get that under an options contract, not so you can buy it and work out of it, so you can sell it. So you get it under contract, right? And then you sell it because someone is going to buy it. You should be doing that. You should be the one that does that because like we were talking about before this call is there is this stream of money. There's this stream of opportunity. It's just passing right in front of you. And don't create excuses. Realize when you're creating excuses for yourself, you could be doing these things.
Exactly. I mean, that's a very strong point that you just made. People need to understand that it's like, and again, John, you've mentioned this whole buying real estate on an option. What does that mean for the layperson? If you could simplify
Okay.
an option contract, they just don't. Most people don't even understand that
Here's where many people have
because
a problem
because
with.
it's so alien, John. It's so
Yeah,
alien
it is.
because the typical real estate gurus tell you to go go get some credit cards, max it out, try to get a down payment, and go flip a house.
Well, okay, there are many ways of doing it. Some are crazy, but okay, so what I'm describing for you is a way to obtain financing to sell a piece of real estate. So I'm showing you how to come into the deal with your financing in hand, which is called an options contract. Where is the financing coming from? Well, it's giving me a different amount of time to buy the property, meaning that I can then take 6 months to go find a buyer. When I told the seller I want to buy it, sign this options contract, for whatever reason he'll sign it, okay? You can find those deals. Then I can go find an actual end buyer and I can broker to him without a license to do that and I could take a cut of the spread. That's what you're doing.
There you go.
I don't know if that
There
helps
you
you,
go.
but that's just a different way to explain it. So the options contract is giving you more time and it's used as a mechanism for financing. This is where most people have a problem because they think that real estate investing requires a lot of cash. In fact, a good real estate investor almost has no cash. He just has the ability to acquire funds or get financing, okay? People say, "Well, my credit's not that good." So, you can buy real estate with bad credit. And this is one of the ways I'm showing you. This is one of the ways you can do that. And it's not like VJ and I, we like to sell stuff. Okay. I'm not actually even trying
Yeah.
to sell you stuff. I'm showing you how to go do it yourself with a little bit of dollars, a few dollars. You can go do it yourself.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. And that's what blows people's minds away, man. People limit themselves. Like they don't understand what the options that are out there for getting finance, for getting an
Oh my
investor.
gosh, so
It's
many.
not that hard, guys. It's never lack of resources, John. It's always lack of resourcefulness.
Lack of resources, and give yourself more time. When you have more time, you can actually you can get things organized. Let me just tell you a quick story when I was little. So this leads into my next part of what I want to talk about. When I was little, I was 12 years old. I got the idea that I wanted to learn how to fight, and so I asked my mom if she would take me to Ed Maley's school of judo in Tampa. So I go to the school of judo, right, and I get the gi and everything. And the first class, and I remember I'm 12, and I'm thinking, yeah, I'm gonna learn to fight. So the first thing Ed Maley does, he comes in, this big guy, huge muscles, this guy, right? And he comes in, he makes this funny face, and everybody starts laughing. And I thought, what the heck? What kind of person is this? I thought I was gonna learn to break somebody's neck. So the first lesson he teaches us is, first thing he says when he opens the class is, when you get into a confrontation, or when there's a confrontation where you would be using possibly judo to defend yourself, martial arts, he said the best thing and the first thing you should do is run away, get away, leave that situation. And he went on to explain, all the different scenarios and things like that. And I'm thinking to myself, what did I thought I was going to learn how to choke somebody out, or. And then for the next, I'm not exaggerating, for like the next 8 classes after that, the one thing we learned how to do, it was not learning how to choke somebody, punch somebody, throw somebody, although we did learn those later. It was how to fall.
Mm,
It was how to fall.
mm.
I could show you 15 different ways of falling and not get hurt. Falling, being thrown in the air and fall, tripping on something and falling. We fall hundreds of times. Okay, and so I tell you this story because the point I want to make is that so many times people are concerned about what's going to happen if I do this thing. What are the consequences? And they're afraid, and they scare themselves out of doing a thing that could really improve their life, enrich their life in some way. And I just thought that was a great example because, you know, I'm learning how to fall. So now I know how to fall. I'm good at it. You should be good at it. If you're not good at it, you're not succeeding. You need to go out and not be afraid of the consequences, which might include failing. Because if you ask anybody who's successful, really, like financially, he's going to tell you he probably failed more times than he succeeded, unless he's just really lucky. And you cannot succeed or be successful without failing. You have to fail, and you cannot be afraid of that. And that's what I think happened in those classes, is that I overcame my fear of literally being thrown in the air over someone's shoulders and slamming my body onto the ground and not getting hurt, standing up right after that. And you can do that.
Yeah, absolutely. And learning how to fall is like learning how to fail. Every failure, there's a silver lining in terms of lessons learned. I mean, my God, I mean, thousands of, I mean, John, you and I have it's through mistakes we learned how good, what works, and how good can it work. It's only through the
Yeah.
mistakes, through trial and error.
Yeah. Yeah. People ask me all the time, John, how'd you learn how to do that? I say, well, screwing it up lots of times,
Oh
screwing
yeah,
it up, making
yeah,
mistakes, really. And then you do. So, but try to learn from other people's mistakes. I mean, if you can, that's all the better. But you're going to make mistakes, so don't be concerned about that. See, if you're making mistakes and you're failing and you're losing money, let's say you lost some money, look at your neighbor. Did he even take the risk? And what's going to happen is eventually, in a short period of time, if you continue, you're going to be making way more money to where you can just move out of the neighborhood because that house is not that great. You're going to get a better house, and that guy's still going to be there, your neighbor who hasn't taken the risks. And so
yeah.
I'm telling you, I'm just giving you one little technique. Okay, this is the actual business technique where you want to get financing. Okay, you're using an options contract to buy real estate. Now take that idea and think about how you could do that with an internet business. You can do that. In fact, somebody was telling me a while back, a few years ago, how he does only that. He calls up business owners on the internet that have internet businesses. They're not,
Hmm.
they're not selling the business, but he'll buy it. He'll convince them to buy it because he sees some value in there that they don't see. He'll get them under a contract, which is like an options contract, and he'll flip it and he'll make a ton of money. And everybody's happy. He's not cheating anybody, you know? So consider that, right? Just consider that and identify the consequences. That's fine. Understand what they are, but don't let that stop you from moving forward.
Exactly correct, man. Exactly correct. What are some of the things that have popped up? I mean, we're in the new year, a whole new world's happening. What do you think is going to be
Mm.
exciting in the next several
Well,
months, next several
I
years?
I love the idea that the president is pro Bitcoin. Now,
Hmm.
I'm not, my idea on Bitcoin is not that I'm going to buy some and wait until it goes up against the dollar. That is That will work, but that's just so ignorant. You need to get involved in that sphere of
Yes.
yeah, of interaction, okay? Because Bitcoin is a tool. You're not just going to buy and hold it. I mean, sure you could do that, but that grandma can do that, okay? It doesn't take any skill to do that. But why not
Right.
set up a payment system, or why not use someone else's payment system? So being pro Bitcoin, I think, is good for everything. If you understand pro Bitcoin, what about pro gold? What does that do to the dollar? It gets you need to get out of the dollar, right? At the least, at least get out of the dollar. There's
Yeah.
something right
Diversify
there.
out. Yep.
Yeah, there's something right there. I mean, I think just understanding that part, and also the one thing, think about this. Most, if you look around where you live, restaurants and they're using financing for profit. They're making money with financing. Okay, hotels, restaurants, let's just say in your neighborhood. Most investments today that benefit our lives are not made with cash. The cash of the owner of the business. They're made with financing. So I know that many of us think we're going to use our own cash to get into a deal. And yeah, you certainly can. Maybe you should. Maybe it's easier that way. But just realize that real investments are financed. So even if you get your own cash into a deal, you want to finance out of it. But the idea that going forward in the future, Bitcoin is a big thing and the president's behind it, that's that's huge. I don't know. Maybe you know, VJ, what else? I mean, because you're involved more in that environment than I am. Just that alone, what does that
Yeah.
look like?
I mean, I think, my God, I mean, I would like, there's a couple ways you can look at it. Number one, you could get it from the investor side where you can figure out, I mean, Wall Street's going to be launching a bunch of ETFs. People are like, well, what's the big deal with the ETF? Well, yeah, you're not actually holding the crypto, but it's a composite index based upon what are the crypto holdings are. So there are ETFs out there that are going to be launching that would have some of your favorite coins, maybe some of your AI related things. That's another thing we're going to get into, John, because AI is about to be cut
Yeah.
loose. The Chinese just dropped DeepSeek, which is, oh my God, has just nuked several AI competitors here in the US for a fraction of the cost. But the world is looking at AI, the world's looking at crypto, and here's what you need infrastructure to do it. So we need start looking at energy, start looking at security, right? Cybersecurity, right? In order for crypto, in order for AI and all this stuff to work, you need cybersecurity, you need the infrastructure, you need energy. So start looking at data centers. This is where all the trends are going in finance, right? This is for the next 15, 20 years. This is where we're headed. We're looking into the
Mhm.
biggest, most massive build out you've ever seen. Trillions of dollars coming in. Don't be sitting on the sidelines holding your Johnson, wondering why life is passing you by. This is your chance to get involved. Uh, People like gunshot. If you don't hold it, you don't own it. Look, be more pragmatic. There's a reason why the wealthy get money to work for them, right? So if I'm able to get into an ETF at a lower cost, look, Bitcoin's $100,000, right? But there's going to be ETFs launching for you can get in at 40, $50, right? Or $10 or $12. Use that because if you get in at 10, 12 bucks, 20 bucks, 30 bucks, 40 bucks, and that thing 3X's, 4X's, come on now. Like if it's going to pay you 20% return at the end of the year, that's a phenomenal opportunity for you to get involved in, or if it pays even more than that is a phenomenal opportunity for you letting in rather than just simply holding something, hoping that it would go up, you know, index funds are going to be based on AI. They're going to be based on AI infrastructure and energy and chip manufacturing, that,
Yeah.
that will have, I mean, I'm looking at now people, oh, this is the devil's company, the devil's company. It's called Vanguard and crap
Yeah.
and all of them.
Right.
Yeah, it is, and I hate them. But I know some Vanguard has a hell, and it's not investment advice. Do your own research. Vanguard has a hell of an ETF out there that's based upon the movers and shakers on AI and this, that, and the other. And last year, that thing has done a 30%, 30+% return on investment. Why wouldn't you not get involved in that? Come
So you're
on, man.
talking
This is what
about
people. Yeah,
okay, so if Trump's promoting Bitcoin, now you're looking
right.
at this huge drag of the supply chain that we can all profit from.
Exactly.
Take your pick. Where do you want to where do you want what party do you want to go to? And
Bingo.
and AI also, which we didn't even start talking about that, but AI is creating this huge supply chain that you should be getting involved in. In fact, you
Right.
should be using AI. You should have, just like if you wear a nice suit to your job interview, you should have a nice application, a very useful application that's an AI application that lets you do your job better. No one needs to know
Yeah.
what that is, or maybe that's a selling point for why you should be hired, because you should be
Right.
hired because you're more effective at your job because you're using AI. You're like hiring 5 or 6 people. That's
Yep.
how you should look at this stuff. At least, I mean, if you're going to get a job, stuff like that. But you're right, man. So there's all these things, these in the financial industry of where you can make money just because the president is promoting Bitcoin.
Yeah. Exactly correct. People are just look. The message to people, especially in these alt media spaces, everybody likes to form their ideological camps. You got the camps where the Jews own everything, or the Catholics own everything, or the Masons own everything. You got the Illuminati, the Illumascati. You have the Bohemian. You got all this shit out there, and I always tell people it's murder on the Orient Express, baby. Everybody had a motive to kill the guy, okay,
Yeah,
and everybody did kill the guy. They took turns, right? So there's a motive for everybody. The point of the matter is, look, you can sit on the sidelines and go to your ideological camps, or you can be smart and make money. And here's the thing: I don't know about you, but what's more important than listening to wonderful, conspiracy theories and this, that, and the other, which aren't, I'm not knocking it. All I'm
right.
trying to say is that you're sitting around, you're consuming news all the time. You're not doing anything with it. You're not profiting yourself. You're not putting
Right.
your family in a better position. What's the point of all this?
Right.
You know
And
what I'm
so
saying?
many people,
Take the data we get. Yeah, go
yeah.
ahead.
So many people are afraid. They'll call me on a stupid thing like I'm trying to think, get them moving on with their lives, get out of a financial situation, get into a better one. And I use as a tool sometimes a limited liability company. And then they call me
Yeah.
like a week or two later, or even sometimes a month later, and they're still stuck at the name that's on the document, as if, is that going to be my name's there? Oh, that's going to be a problem. I'm like, well, for what? So
Yeah.
what? Even if it's
Yeah.
a problem, go make some money with it. It's a tool.
Go
You
make
get
some
hung up
money
on
with
these
it.
stupid little details. I mean, even if you didn't even use a corporation, even if you just did things in your name or used an alter ego, right? A fictitious name. So what? Go set up the thing that starts making money. Then come back and do some restructuring and stuff like that. Don't get tied up in all the little details.
Yeah, exactly. Very well said. John, what other things are on your radar, man?
Oh, I don't. I'm just trying to see what opportunities out there, like you just described. I didn't even know all those things, for the
Mhm.
for the Bitcoin and these different markets. I'm going to look into that. But I'm looking at right now. Okay, so for myself, what I'm looking at is raising capital for real estate. This is actually something new for me. Before I just kind of look at it, did a couple things here and there, but now I'm looking at a larger scale where we're going to actually do a private placement memorandum with the SEC and raise a bunch of money and do some
Mm,
interesting things. In fact, one of the things we're looking at doing is some tiny home communities.
yeah,
There's technologies out there, and these fabrication techniques are so fantastic that we can have a home on site within 2 days and family living there, or we can create short-term rentals, or we can even do like an RV recreational park type of thing. So,
sure.
anyways, I'm looking at that for myself, and I'm encouraged by. I mean, I kind of don't care about the IRS, as you guys know. I figure like I got those handled, but it's kind of nice to see what the president's doing. But I'm just seeing, because the technology is out there, and there's actually some cool advancements in equipment to developing land. So I'm looking at the use of technology in making money in real estate, not just nothing wrong with just buying a single family and renting it out, but I like to be a little more creative and have a little more fun with my project. So for myself, that's what I'm looking at.
Fantastic. Exactly. Yeah, for people out there, I wouldn't be too worried about what government agencies are going to do. These bureaucracies right now are shitting a brick. They're shitting their pants right now, John. They don't know if they're going to be
Imagine
around tomorrow.
the whole point of Doge is to get rid of these agencies. That's
Yeah,
what he's going to do. He's
yeah.
going to dissolve them.
Exactly. And all these dumbass bureaucrats in the deep state saying, we're going to stop them. The first bureaucracy that stands up to stop them, hey, Elon, go take a look at these
That's
guys.
exactly and I think they're realizing that. But you're going to have to get rid of things like the ATF. We don't need them.
Yeah, you don't need
We
the
don't need the
ATF
ATF.
incorporated. I think
No.
we're seeing the death of America, the corporation, and we're seeing the rebirth of the republic, man. The republic was like, it was like Gulliver's Travels, right? You got the Lilliputians
Right.
tying
Right.
down Gulliver, and the
Right.
Lilliputians in this state is these corporate unelected bureaucrats and their bureaucracies, and through the rule of statutes, not laws, but through the rule of statutes, they've hobbled and cobbled the republic and hijacked it. And not only hijacked it, they also did an identity theft where the whole world and many people in the United States were thinking that the corporation was the actual republic, and it wasn't. And I think
Yeah,
we're seeing a return
yeah.
of the republic with a vengeance, man.
I'll tell you, man, what a lot of the damage they've done is not so much statutes, it's the association, like the World Economic Forum, letting
Correct.
letting that funding into your county,
Yeah.
into your county board of supervisors, letting foreign capital contribute money to your county board of supervisors. If you guys, you should pull the budget for your county and find out what foreign money is coming in there. And you have to ask yourself this question: why is my county accepting money from a non-taxpayer? What is he going to get out of
Right.
this? He doesn't drive the roads every day.
No.
So you should refuse that money.
Right.
So yeah, that's going on too. But yeah, that's going to be quite interesting. But it's the associations that have been doing it. They don't need laws anymore. They just start working together, and
Yeah.
we're not even seeing it, but it's all around us. We need our own
Correct.
associations.
And that's how it is. I think my good friend Balaji guy said it best. When you get into the legal world of things, and John, you know this, it's not about your idea versus their idea, or your argument versus their argument. It's your documents and your paperwork versus their paperwork. And if
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
if you know what you're doing, you know what you're standing on, you can crush these idiots right where they are.
I got a case right now where I'll get the case thrown out because it's good for my client. And the attorney, because the way I did it, the attorney doesn't even understand what I did, and she filed a document that actually supports what I want, doesn't even realize it. Because I
You
understand the
mad
rules.
scientist.
Yeah, she thinks that, she thinks she's created a situation. I'm like, well, I'm not going to even oppose her. I'm going to say thank you. That's what I want, Your Honor.
Yeah, yeah.
She'll afterwards she'll wonder what happened. What happened? I don't know. The guy wasn't even a lawyer. What happened? So yeah,
Very well said.
but I hope you guys are hearing this message and just making a plan and going out and do something. And please don't do it alone. Please work with people. If you're not sure, talk to anybody. Talk to a professional that's not going to be your partner, but it's a professional. Someone who's already been there before. Another entrepreneur. I don't know.
Yep.
But don't work alone. That's a key element. Don't work alone. But like B's saying, have some creativity and put some energy behind it.
Exactly. Exactly. Very well said. And folks, if you need to get a hold of man, you need to figure out, look, hey, this all sounds good, but I don't know where to start. I'm a little befuddled. I don't quite get it. Look, we understand. This is all new. This is stuff that you've never been taught anywhere in the world, anywhere in your school life, nothing. Nobody's ever taught you this. Everybody taught you how to be a good little sheep and go to work and punch a 9 to 5 clock. Well, I'll tell you right now, get a hold of John. You can find him at aceofcoins.com, aceofcoins.com, and book you scroll all the way down to the website. You can book an appointment with John, a consultation with John, and he'll walk you through it. And then join aceofcoins.club, which gives you all the exclusive details. Folks, let me tell you, having access to aceofcoins.club is like having access to a library for strategies and success and opportunities and how to find them. It is invaluable for what he charges. Absolutely invaluable. You can't put a price on it. Go there, guys. AceCoins.club, and John has done amazing for several thousands of my clientele. It's been remarkable. It's been amazing. And look, the proof is in the pudding, guys. The proof is in the pudding. With that being said, John, thank you so much for joining us, man. Any last words you want to talk?
No, thank you, VJ. Look forward to our next call.
Absolutely. Thank you all for listening in. Have yourself a great day. Cheers.